This video is sponsored by Win-Win Technology, your ultimate flight sim hardware solution, featuring the Orion hotels, current and future configurations.
Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well. For today's valued viewer request from Sencook. Can you make a comparison Hornet radar? I believe it is slightly better. This was on a tutorial we did for the F-16 air-to-ground radar, which at this time has just become available. Well, that's interesting. I mean, how do I compare two air-to-ground radars, especially when one is incomplete? Well, the first thing to say is that ground-moving target type technology can't be covered because at least two of the aircraft in DCS don't have that yet, or have it finished. So we're just going to be looking at the ground and sea mapping. So let's compare the ground/sea mapping ability of the various aircraft in DCS World at the moment. This test is based on my actual using of the radars. What I found is that ideally I want to be able to use that air-to-ground radar to spot things, ideally through the cloud, at around 20 nautical miles. I understand the radar's just not going to be good enough further out to get really good detail, but I also don't want to get close because I don't want to get shot by SAMs. The average SAM, let's say an SA-6, is going to have about 20 miles range or a little bit less. So I want to see a target, a tank, a bridge, aeroplane on the ground or something at 20 miles. I want to lock it with my air-to-ground radar and I want to chuck a JSOW on it or something like that. That's how I want to use my air-to-ground radar. So that's how the test is based. We've got a target area here. We've got, that's basically the same thing as this, just orientated from how the aircraft is going to see it. In order of size, we've got a runway. Can you see the runway? A bridge. Next, can you see the bridge? Ships. Which of the 6 ships you can see? Aircraft carrier, cruiser, destroyer, frigate, corvette, speedboat, going down in RCS. Next, factories. Can you see 3 factories together? Can you see 2 factories together? Can you see 1 factory? Next, tankers. KC-135. Can you see 3? Can you see 2? Can you see 1? Is there going to be enough definition that you can actually decide that that's the target? Tanks. There's a small blob of tanks here. Can you see that? SAM. There's a SAM site there that's stopping us getting within 20 miles range. Can you see it to put a JSOW on it? And what about cows? Can you see livestock? Very important. So we want to be able to see those targets. We want to be able to, as well as knowing that they're there, we want to be able to define that specific target. So, for instance, these tankers here, I want to be able to zoom in at 20 miles and determine that those 2 there are different to those 3 there. If they're just a big blob of light, that's no use. You know, that could be anything. I want my radar to specifically tell me that those are 2 things there. They're not going to tell me that they're planes. I understand that. That's just beyond the technology. But I want to see specifically those 2 are separate from 3. Then I'll be confident to bomb them. Can I see them to a level at which they're separated and to a level at which I will be confident they're intense enough on the radar that I will be happy that that is a ship and not a wave or a shark or something? Am I happy that these are tanks here? Am I, happy they're separated, that they're not an orphanage full of children, and so on? And then we're going to fill out these sheets separately so we take as much bias away as possible. I'm Cap. RC is RC. Hello, RC.
Hello.
And that's it, Mr. RC. In terms of the planes, we've got a F-16, an F-18, a JF-17. So this has got the newest air-to-ground radar, second newest, I think, third newest, I think, and old 60s radar. RC, we've had a little play, and so we kind of know what we're going to see, but pretend if you didn't know that, what would your predictions have been?
Well, right off the bat, even if we hadn't practiced, I would have known the Vigan was not going to work well.
Okay. And the others, I would just assume the Jeff is newer, so it would have a better radar, right?
Yep.
All right, let's go and do it. Everything is perfectly equal, guys. Everything is starting at the same altitude, the same waypoints, the same everything. Will be an active pause so that it's completely empirical, repeatable. And that's it. Let's get stuck in. Let's start with the F-16 because we've just got that and it's a new toy. So let me walk you through this as best I can. Air-to-ground mode. Zoom in on here. Nicely zoomed in, nice and big, full screen. I don't know if you can do this in VR or not, but first of all, we're on sea mode because we want to look at the ships. Remember to go to sea mode for the ships, RC. We're on the wrong area. I want to go on waypoint 2. Where's the incrementer? Waypoint 2. Boop. I want to zoom in on the area, please, or at least I want to reduce my range, so reduce range. There. Next, I want to zoom in on that area there, and I think I do it like this. I'm going to go norm, expand. There we go. Yep, it's all coming back to me now. Those ships are pretty poor for me, RC. Let's go in DBS. Oh, I can't do DBS in C mode. Have you noticed that?
You can't?
No. You got expand to normal. Well, that's interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to use ground mapping. There's nothing to say I can't use. There's nothing to say I can't use ground mapping for ships. So I'm going to use ground mapping. Expand. DBS 1. Okay. Now we're cooking on gas. More detail. DBS 2. Zoom in. Let it populate. Speed it up a bit. Okay, I think that's about the best I can do. Let's get the brightness and gain. These are all things you will be doing in the cockpit as a pilot to get it as spottable, as easy to use as possible. Right, I can see I've got 5 ships. The F-16 sees 5 ships. One sort of joined up one there. I got the cruiser. I got the frigate. No, destroyer. The frigate, which is for some reason smaller than the corvette, which I assume is a bug, but it might not be. And the speedboat does not exist. So I got 5 in the F-16, so let's fill out our first bit of the form. Next, the base up here. So I'm going to try and just move. Really good radar this is, as in easy to use system for plebs like me. Give it a second to update. Takes a little while, obviously. Okay, here we go. That is the Toomey runway, as you can see there. The angle's slightly off, but you get the point. There is a runway. Can I see the runway? Yep, it's pretty obviously a runway. Why is it black instead of white? Don't know. It's not reflecting for some reason, and I don't know why that is. Is that a bridge? Clearly, that's a bridge over a river. So, bridge check. 3 factories should be there, and they're obvious. They're distinguished from everything. 3 factories. 2 factories are there, and yep, I can see them easily. 1 factory is there, and I can see it easily. This is easy. Tankers. This is where it's going to get a little harder. So we're going to need to zoom in even more. Those are okay. I think, yeah, I've got it. Tanker 1, 2 tankers, 3 tankers. It's got them perfect. If you get the right zoom and the right gain, RC, it's perfect. That is genuinely amazing. So 3 tankers, yes. 2 tankers, yes. 1 tanker, yes. I didn't actually expect that. Tanks. Oh, now here's where we're struggling. Tanks. Okay, there's the end of the runway. They should be there. I sort of see them. If you're saying, oh, it's stupid pausing it and doing this, that's not actually true. We can actually freeze the frame and look at it afterwards. So this is something we can actually do. We can freeze a frame and fly off and study the image. It's designed to do that. Right, can we sharpen it up a little? I don't know. What do you think, valued viewers? Could I use that as an image to bomb those tanks? At a slightly better refresh here. I think I can. And I've even got the cows. I think I've even got the cows. I know it's not perfect, but I'd say...
You have the SAM?
I haven't even looked yet. Tanks, yes. Cows, yes. SAM is... Go over the other side of the river. So off we go. Somewhere around here.
Yeah.
SAM's a bit ugly, isn't it? But it's there. SAM's probably the hardest one. But I can distinguish it. It's slightly hotter. Or slightly...
You can see it a little bit.
A little bit. It's a little bit more than the trees around it. So I think you'd probably give that as a yeah. If you're really studying it, if you knew that it was around there somewhere, obviously you can't tell what these things are. They're just blips. They're just radar, bricks. And you know roughly from the brightness, it's a thing there. It could have been a house. It could have been a SAM, but I guess it's a yes, which is actually a full house. Apart from the speedboat, it saw everything. I'm going to jump in the Hornet now. I may change my mind a bit on some of those as I go through the other aircraft, but let's just...
No, you can't go back.
You can't go back? Right.
No, you can't compare them to it. You can't.
Right.
Just kidding. Giving you a hard time.
You shouldn't give me a hard time. How do I get air to ground on this? I can't even remember.
Push air to ground.
Oh, push the button that says air to ground. Right. That changes everything. Right. Okay, valued viewers, everyone's favourite, apparently, the Hornet. How do I know that? Because if I say anything bad about it, the whole internet explodes. So, ground radar Hornet, valued viewers. Set soy, check. Move the doodah about, check. So map, check. I don't think C does anything in DCS. Stand to be corrected, but it just seems to make it worse, in my opinion. Get the doodah, check, done. Let's go to expand 2. Ships first. Wow, that's... Wow, this one gets the speedboat, RC. It gets the speedboat. More powerful radar. How about that? I mean, like I said, guys, you've got to clean the image up a bit, but the Hornet's got it. Carrier, cruiser, destroyer, frigate, which again is smaller than the corvette, which can't be right, and a speedboat. It's all there. If I knew there was a small vessel around, then I could go and find it and put a bomb on it, basically. So 6. That was unexpected. Right, next, let's go up. So, gotta remember how to do this. Do I want to go up like that? Is that going to work? No? Do I go up like that? Yes, look at that. Look at me remembering things. Okay.
This is almost impossible.
Here's where things change a little bit. Okay, obvious things. Can you see the runway? No, you can't see the runway, right? So let's try a little moving about. Does that help? Does the brightness help? No, not at all. Does the contrast help? No, there is no runway there. It hasn't picked it up at all. I'm not allowed to say there's something wrong with the Hornet, so I'm going to say it can't not see the runway. Does that make sense? EXP, pen fan, doesn't do anything. One freeze. There's nothing in the data.
I mean, if I'm in the XP3, I can see it broken up, but that would never be able to pick out that was a runway.
In the EXP, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm playing with the gain as well in the data. There's nothing there that helps. I'm going to try EXP3 myself. But with such a powerful radar, it zooms in so much.
You can kind of see.
Yeah, I sort of got it.
Up, but
I don't know if we can count that.
You would have to be an air-to-ground radar expert to pick out something.
It's hard, so hard to tell, isn't it? It's so hard. You've got to be so good. EXP3, I can actually see it. Let me go back to EXP2. Man, this is hard. EXP2 is not there. It doesn't exist. EXP3, it sort of exists, but it's...
barely.
I'm going to give it a half point, because I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I can sort of see it, but...
I'm going to give it no points, because I can't... How would I even know to go to EXP3, and where would I go?
Right. Well...
no way to find it.
Subjective at the end of the day, so there you go. Right, next, bridge. Is bridge there? Yep, bridge is easy. Yes. Factories. It should be easy. Where are they? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can see them. I prefer it in the F-16, but they're there. If I knew roughly where they're supposed to be, I could put a TDC on it and bomb them. So yeah. Factories, yep. Next, tankers. Tankers. Well, if I could somehow find the runway, then I know there would be...
You can only see one factory?
I can see all of them.
You put ones, and there's 3 factories.
Yeah, you can see those 3 factories.
Okay, I'm putting a yes then, not a 1.
But the only way to do it is to add the numbers up at the end. You can't add yeses, well I suppose you could. Anyway.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So I'm going to put
1.
Okay, so I'm going to put 3 then, right? Or does 1 mean yes?
I'm going to put 1. Yes, I can see those 3.
So 1 means yes.
Yes. Also, he's being obtuse if you can't hear that in the background.
I'm just trying to figure out what the meaning is. Otherwise, then I can't figure it out.
I've actually found the 3 planes. I've gone on EXP3 and I found the 3 planes and the 2 planes and the 1 plane, and they're all separate. I know it's harder to do.
I have a problem with that, in that unless you know where they are, you're going into EXP3, but how would you know if you didn't?
I don't know.
How would you find them? You couldn't find them.
I've only found them by looking at my map.
Right.
But I mean, again, it's subjective and it's all based on the skill and what the user. So put down what you think it should be.
I'm going to say I can't find them because I would never be able to find them without the map.
Roger.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know either. I
don't know. We've never done this before. Tankers, check. Right, tanks. Tanks. Where are they? The tanks aren't here, and the cows aren't here. Even on the EXP3.
There's no.
They're not there. I can't distinguish them as a blob of tanks like I could in the F-16. And there's a bunch of other stuff around it that I know doesn't exist. Trees. Man, this is hard to judge. I don't think I'm confident about putting those bombs on those tanks because there's nothing there where that blip is. But it's the same. That's probably the cows, but that's the same thing as that. So how would I know which one was the cows?
You would. Just like you wouldn't know which ones were the tankers unless you knew exactly where they were and zoomed in.
Here's why I put the tankers yes, because if I did zoom in, I could see that there's 3, then there's 2, then there's 1. Do you know what I mean? I had enough power in that radar to really tell, okay, that's 3, that's 2, that's 1. However,
if you're looking at it that way, fine.
That's kind of how my mind's working. With the map, with obviously using the map, I know there's 3 here. I know there's 2 here. There's 1. However, I can't do that with the sheep and the tanks because they're as bright as the tree.
Cows, you mean?
Yes, they're as bright as some of the trees around them. So, you know what I mean? I can't distinguish that is the cows and that tree there isn't the cows. Whereas the F-16 could, I think. So I'm going to have to put it as no, and the internet's going to go mad. But
there's no SAM. Maybe there's a SAM.
Yeah, I think maybe we've got that. I'm going back out to XBT2.
I mean, if you look at there's 3 dots, that could be them.
It's so hard, isn't it?
On the XP3, there's 3 black dots. I see. Is that the SAM? No, I don't think that's the SAM.
This is stupid hard.
Because they would be not black. They should be reflecting.
Okay, well I'm gonna.
Say no.
Okay, I'm gonna go purely for me. I'm on XB3, and the SAM is brighter than the trees around it in this case, which I didn't have.
How are you? Let me look at that. What are you seeing?
Because that blip there is brighter than all the trees and stuff around it.
Oh, see, I don't even see that.
Well, that's a you problem. That's okay.
Yeah, I don't even. I mean, I'm in the same spot you are.
Okay, plane done. Wow, that was hard. Jeff. Okay, this is going to be fun remembering how to do this, valued viewers, but we'll figure it out. You know us, we don't give up. Okay, air to ground mode, check. Stick off, check. Zoom in, nice and comfortable, check. Soy, get the right waypoint, so this brings me back. That's as far as I remember. Okay, do that, something like that, don't I? I go zoom, 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 zoom. Okay, C first, don't even need C mode. I can clearly see there's a bunch of stuff there. Really good, powerful radar this is. I want an EXP on that. That means I have to put a SPI on it, I think. So I need to press that, I think. Yes, look at me remembering the words. Then I press S2 left. There we go. Oh, it's beautiful. It's even better than the Hornet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Bridge, yeah, obvious. Runway, no. Runway, no. Same problem as the Hornet. How about that? That is not expected. Right, how do I move now I've done that? I go up like that. Guess where the runway is. Reapply soy. I've reapplied
This has got to have something to do with the... maybe not, because you can see on the 16. It's got to have something to do with the fact that it's not reflecting properly in the software.
A little harder than I thought, but we'll get there. Right, over there. Done. And done. Getting there. All the way into DBS3 here. Oh, found it. Found it. I would say that is clearer than the Hornet as well. I don't know what you think.
Yeah.
I know it's not perfect.
Yeah, it's clear. I can see here. It's clearer.
I'm going to... Actually, I think... Yeah.
Again, you need to know exactly where it is.
Yes, agreed. Now, the reason you need to know is because it doesn't show up on the... it doesn't show up on the other DBSs, does it? So you've got to happen to have DBS2 right on it. That's the problem. Whereas F-16 could see it out of the box. So why don't I go back to DBS... if I can remember how to do this. DBS 1. Let's see if I can see it there. I can't. So I'm going to have to give it a half point. Even though it shows well on DBS 2, I'm going to have to give it a half point because it doesn't show up on the outer zoom levels. Right, we're getting a curriculum together now, I'll see. 0.5. It's a shame because I like this radar. Right, can I see 3 dots, 2 dots, 1 dot clearly on the runway and the taxiways? Yes. 3 dots there, 2 dots there, 1 dot there. It can see the tankers, I think. That's my subjective opinion. Factories. Oh, it's actually too bright. Gonna have to mess around with the gain a bit. Gain down. Yep, there they are. 3 factories, 2 factories, 1 factory. I know it's not easy to see, but I'll be happy with them.
No, they're there.
1, 1, 1.
I can see them.
Oh, so you're filling in my sheet.
Oh, sorry.
I don't want you to fill in my sheet. Tanks not there, and sheep not there. Hello.
No.
Right. Oh no, I've done a thing. Wow, can you boats make this frigging cursor any more frigging jumpy? I'm DBS 2, that's as far as I can zoom in, I think. No, I can go further. No, I can't go in any further. That's as far as it'll let me go in. I could not bomb any tanks and cows from that. Let me try the gain. And
I can't.
No, gain doesn't help.
Anything on mine.
And let me try zoom. Contrast doesn't work. Brightness just does the screen brightness. It doesn't help at all. That's a clear cut no. So, tanks, no. Cows, no. Sam! Uncle Sam. I like it how you drive it off the screen and it follows it. That's... Oh, the Sam isn't there. Sam isn't there.
No,
Not there.
not there.
Even the XP3, so Sam 0, wow. Probably worst one so far, which is a shame because it's actually a nice to use piece of kit there. Right, and finally Vigan, we are getting there. Vigan, now this is going to be interesting. Now the Vigan, we've chucked in because it is technically a ground mapper, but it's, you know, instead of 2000s technology, it's 60s tech. So they see the difference. I apologise in advance, I'm not, you know, I don't know this stuff very well. I did a mediocre tutorial on this about 3 years ago, and that's all my experience. So radar on.
I thought we were not doing the Vigan.
Yeah, we are. Why wouldn't we not do the Vigan?
I thought because you couldn't see any. That's true.
Well, let's show the value viewers, shall we? Okay,
Yeah.
C mode, land mode, check. Logarithmic or linear. We'll start with logarithmic, then we'll go to linear. That's just the maths on how bright the signal is going to show, or how dark the signal is going to show. I can zoom in, zoom out, ping, zoom in, or the other way around, and that's it. That's all I got. I can't go in and zoom in and expand and do all that cool stuff because it's old tech. I'm 99% sure you can't do all that stuff. I can move cursors about on the screen, but I can't zoom in on that area. I want to make it brighter, get the linear on. It's just going to give you a stronger signal. Now here's the thing. That's what I've got. Can I see a bridge at 20 miles in the same configuration? No. Can I see the ships? Yes, but I can tell there's one ship there and that's it. I'm not confident to say there's any other quantity of ships there, let alone put bombs on them. So ships, 1. Bridge, no, to be honest. Runway, no.
Nope.
Everything else, no. I mean, let me know what you think I'm doing wrong. Again, we're not allowed to go any closer, higher, lower. What else can I do? I can't zoom in on that area. I've got a couple of buttons to refine slightly, but I can't remember what they are now, how I found them. So I would say that goes 1 point. Maybe another point for being sexy and old, but anything you want to add to that, RC? I'm just going to quickly try B suite mode. Stand by. Just try and B mode. Oh, hey, look at that. Right, that changes a little bit. So we can now see there are 6 vessels. There are 6 vessels. Everything else I can't see in B sweep, B scope, but I can see the 6 vessels, so I'm going to give it that. Right, Mr. Valued viewers, so we've done some arguing, and here we are. Here is my score set. Here is RC's. They will be different because this is something we look at with our eyes, we interpret it in our brains, and it's going to differ between humans. Simple as that. That is part of the challenge of making an air-to-ground radar. You have to make it to be able to work with a human mind. F-16, we both scored it the same, 16, because it was pretty much topped out, except it couldn't see the speedboat. Didn't have quite enough power, or the receiver, or whatever. 32, it wins. The second was the Jeff, and it was better because tanks and cow. No, what was it?
Second was F-18, wasn't it?
It's 27.
Oh, second. You're talking about second in line. Got it.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
We both scored 13.5. As simple as that, and it was 27. Well, there, you can see why there. I don't need to explain. Next, in terms of bestness, was the F-18. There was some difference here. I got it 14.5, slightly above the Jeff, but RC got it at 10, a fair bit below the Jeff. Any reasoning there, RC? I mean, it's... Yeah,
because
you wouldn't be satisfied putting a bomb on it, basically, in case it was an orphanage, right?
I was not satisfied that I could even find the target with the XP3. Like in XP2, there was nothing. In the XP3, there was something. I wouldn't be able to find it to put a bomb on it.
Watch out, there you go. That's, fair enough. And Vigan obviously, Vigan actually did well with 12. You could see all the ships, but he couldn't see anything on the land at that range. Just couldn't do it. Again, assuming I'm not doing something wrong, let me know if you think I'm doing something wrong. But so that is it. F-16 best air-to-ground radar on ground mapping mode. That surprised me. I really thought Jeff would have been best. Then I thought Hornet, because of its lovely big screens, both Jeff and the thingy. And then the F-16. But the F-16 with its tiny little... terrible little screen was best. I could see stuff easier. It did its job better than the others of telling a human where a thing was. That's its only job in life at the end of the day in terms of finding targets. Anything you want to add, Mr. RC?
Nope.
Bye-bye.